I I first heard this song in college, and until recently in my life, this has held the top spot for me of most epic breakup song. It's Sinead O'Connor, Troy, from her debut album, The Lion and the Cobra. Holy shit. I highly recommend the studio version. The arrangement is epic with strings. It's so well done, an incredible vocal performance. I also recommend trying to find just her and a guitar. Oh my god, her voice is unreal. I think the only person I can imagine not really appreciating the song is the guy who knows he's on the other end of it. What a song! Until recently, my favorite breakup song. I know you have yours. It's a whole subgenre of popular music, right? It's such a relatable thing, and you know an audience is gonna be able to connect to it. There's so much energy there. There have been so many breakup songs in history, and an artist has to find a new way to carve out their own important story and what they want to say in their breakup song. I have a new favorite. You know, in nature, there are birds like different kinds of hummingbirds who have these weirdly shaped beaks, and the beaks have evolved to over time to be perfectly shaped to go in unusual flowers. They've adapted to become the most efficient creature at getting a particular nectar from a very specific flower. It's how their species survived, making the adaptation. Last winter, I was having a really tough go of it. I'd returned from the hospital and inpatient physical therapy, really struggling getting around. And at the end of December, I started a new physical therapy routine, and I felt initially like I was making really good progress. I remember one week I walked back in there with just a cane. I was like, holy shit, I'm on the path. I'm getting better. I only need this cane. And I had fall after fall. It was so discouraging. And this is the physical therapy that turned out to be such a fail. The guy just couldn't make the adjustments. He wasn't interested in how to make it work for my body. And I got really, really discouraged. I kept falling. So I started making some adaptations. A member of my family said, hey man, if you're gonna keep falling like this, you need to get ready for it. Seriously. So I started researching and trying wearing different sports crash pads for real. And I ended up with indoor soccer goalie pants and like skater crash shorts and like all this padding around the chest and elbows. Worked great for the winter, became intolerable in the summer. It was so hot, but at this time I fell so much. It was such a relief. That was one adaptation. Another was getting a watch to address this sort of hovering fear I had of being by myself or by myself taking care of the littles. What if I have a really bad fall and I need help? The watch knows I have fallen. I put all my medical stuff in there and she calls 911 and I fall and it buzzes and says, "You have 1 minute to tell me not to, otherwise I'm calling." Um, I know one time I couldn't see and I didn't like I needed glasses to see it and I was really distraught and she went ahead and called and I was explaining to the operator I fell but I am okay. Another adaptation that really helped. A harder adaptation was for moments like this. We have we had a digital picture frame that would shuffle through a bunch of pictures we loaded, and I found that my brain was looking at me thinking, wow, he was 4 years from his first symptom there. God, I probably had it then and didn't know it. And my eyes and my brain would do the Ken Burns thing where it would zoom in on the guy and the narrator says like, just 2 short months later, he would have his first fall. Little did he know, shit like that. But the effect on my brain was spinning. I would really start to spin about it. Like every picture was a new stab that would start me spinning, grieving, relationships that changed, art that changed, so many abilities that changed. And it became really a challenge for my mental health seeing any before PLS pictures. And what I what I ended up doing was I stopped that. I put the frame down and eventually just unplugged it or moved it from where I would see it every day. But I started to try to adapt to how I would process my life before this. And it was this, I don't know what guided this, except to say that it felt kind of like the beautiful force that got me through the trauma of the hospital adventure. And it was this sort of gentle pulling back and this gentle breaking up with part of my past and with most of my past, but doing it in a really loving and gentle way, and also knowing like I'm I'm not gonna sit in the sadness of I can't do that anymore in that way. Instead, I'm gonna sit in the positive feelings about the other people in those pictures, the casts in those pictures, and remembering the joy of creating those moments with people. And I started to focus more on that and way less on how I had changed. So, my new favorite breakup song is by this artist, Caroline Rose. And it's, of course, about the end of a romantic relationship, but um, you can imagine it resonates with me. I'll try to get through this part. I really encourage you to have a listen. It's called Miami by Caroline Rose, and this is part of it. This is the hard part, the part that they don't tell you about. There is the art of loving. This is the art of forgetting how this is gonna break you. You're gonna rip your own heart out. There is the art of loving. This is the art of forgetting.